Hey guys, Maniac here with GameAccess.net doing a bit of an interesting video, short here if you will. Since I picked up the 3DS, I've actually been going back and not so much buying new 3DS games, although I have certainly been doing that, but actually going back and buying original DS games like the one you see before you. And the reason why is because, well, I never had any of the 3DS games. I never had a 3DS, so I figured, well, this will give me the opportunity to go back and go buy all these DS games. I can't get Game Boy games or anything like that, but this does have a Game Boy downloadable service, and I can certainly be fine with just simply downloading the games off the service, just like I did download earlier games off the Wii's Virtual Console, and I don't have a problem with that. But one of the games that I actually wanted to get, and really wanted to get, was Metroid Prime Hunters, and I ordered it off Amazon, and this is what I got. $30 American for this. Now, what's the difference between this and this? And you can probably see it right here. This is the European version of the game. This is what Amazon sent me. Okay, it wasn't Amazon, it was an Amazon reseller, but still, this is the European version of the game. Now, the cool thing about it is that this European version of the game, which I'll show you guys right here, is pretty much, as far as I can tell, compatible with the DS and the 3DS. Now, they promised on some of the European versions of the game, some of the resellers that actually said that they were reselling the European version of the game, that the version of the game was identical and would play on North American DSs. I didn't trust that the 3DS version, or the 3DS, might actually become incompatible, and I certainly don't trust that maybe a, what do you call it, like a firmware update will come out and not have and not break compatibility. But that having been said, this does seem to play, and it does seem to play just fine. Here, I'll just plug it in right now so you guys can see it. The manuals are all written in English. The instruction booklets are all in English. The labeling is all in English. But the problem with it is, and the problem that I've seen is, that, take a look for yourselves. All the manuals, beautiful manuals by the way. All the redemption codes and all the hotline codes are all in European numbers. I can't dial these numbers from here unless I'm getting, an extremely, extremely large phone bill, at least for my landlines, of course, and rightfully so. I don't have a international plan on my phone lines, although I'm sure I really wanted to, I could, but I don't dial internationally, so this would be like the one time. But, as you can see from here, the other thing is, like, most of these other documents and things like this are perfectly fine, and in fact, actually, the 3DS actually can read the disc no problem. I do have the 3D effect on, so I'm just going to load up the disc really quickly while I go over this. If I had one problem with it, it's that this right here, it doesn't have the DS Club Nintendo codes. It uses its own, they have their, I guess they have their own club over there in Europe, and the registration codes are not compatible with, or at the very least I don't think they are. It says right here, on this little leaflet, these registration codes are only good for the UK, Ireland, Germany, France, Italy, Spain, Belgium, and Holland, not North America. So there's no point in me scratching this off and registering the code on Club Nintendo. At least I don't think there is. If somebody would like to point out if that's anything different, go right ahead. Now, as you can see here, the game did boot up, and it's running just fine. It's running just fine like any emulated 3DS game. And it looks like it's perfectly fine. My only concern about this game is actually not the fact that the game runs or doesn't run. I really don't think that's going to be a major problem. Actually, my problem is in this, the multiplayer mode. Now, I know for a fact that because I'm using encryption on my system, the encryption that I'm using is not compatible with older DS games. So I'm not concerned about running, internet Wi-Fi connections. I can just get like a Wi-Fi antenna or one of those Nintendo Wi-Fi adapters or something like that if I really wanted to. So I'm not too concerned about that. And plus, this game is compatible with like multi-card play and single-card play. So again, not a huge problem. My problem is this game compatible between North American versions if I decide to do multi-card play with people that have American versions of the game? Not a major thing, or if I wanted to do like online play, am I going to be playing just against Europeans, or am I going to be playing against Americans and Europeans at the same time? I don't know. I've tried looking it up online. There are different PAL versions for earlier Metroid Prime games and stuff like that, and there were differences among those versions. However, here, I couldn't find any. I did a lot of research online. I did some Google searches. I did some searches through various different internet Metroid databases and Metroid fan sites and stuff like that. But I do not know. I want to show you. I'll just, because I think it's cool. I don't know if these versions of the games are incompatible with each other, and that's my major concern. The walkthroughs that I've seen so far and stuff like that, not too much of a problem. The game plays, as you can see, just perfectly fine. I'm not noticing any difference in performance or any problems in the. I know that the European version of the game came out after the North American version of the game by about 2 months, back in 2006, which is probably why that stores are actually able to pay more of this, because the game is actually, there's probably either more plentiful version copies of the game or something along those lines. But that's been a bit of a concern for me. Will this game continue to play after a few firmware updates, and will I be able to play against North American players? I just don't know. If you do know, please post a comment. So take care, guys. Until next time, this is Maniac, over and out.